Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Gunner here, back with another video. I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet if I can, probably like 3 minutes or less, but we'll see. I just want to go over all of my opinions, kind of like a quick little review of WrestleMania 42 Night 1, as it just ended not too long ago. So we had the six-man tag team match between Speed and the Vision versus LA Knight and the Usos that kicked off the show. I personally was not feeling the match. To me, it was kind of what I expected, to be honest. Like, it just wasn't anything flashy or anything like that. What really impressed me was actually what happened after the match, where Logan Paul decided to turn on ISHO Speed, and then Speed, out of nowhere, comes up with, like, a Logan Paul-style splash on top of the announce table. I was like, okay, that blew me away. And then the second match, which was the one I was actually looking forward to, you had Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. It was pretty much everything I wanted to be. You had two amazing table spots. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Jacob Fatu gets on the top rope, and Drew McIntyre freaking shoves Fatu into a table on the outside of the ring. Crazy stuff. And then Jacob Fatu wins the match by hitting a moonsault to Drew McIntyre through a table inside the ring, which was really insane. I loved everything about the match. They brought toolboxes, chairs, obviously tables out. It was a lot of carnage. It was fun, and I loved it. Then the third match you had, I almost forgot. It was the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, the Irresistible Forces, and the Bella Twins, or yeah, oh man, I popped so hard for this. Unfortunately, you guys are not going to be able to see my live reaction on YouTube because it did kick me off my stream, which is super unfortunate. But I went live on my Discord. Shout out to my Discord server. Go to my link on YouTube and follow it if you hadn't already, by the way. If you have Discord, I would love for you to join it, especially if you're a fan of wrestling like I am. Definitely do that. But no, I went live in there, and as soon as, of all people, Paige came out, I popped so hard for that. I've always been a huge fan of her, and I still to this day I love her. I love that she came back out. She tag teamed with Brie Bella to replace Nikki Bella. Now, granted, it was kind of random because it's like, okay, I feel like had Nikki been cleared, you definitely would have the Bella Twins win this thing. But instead, you decide to have Paige win it with Brie Bella, and you know what? I'll take it. I called the Bella Twins winning that. I predicted that, and I was right, so I'm happy. I'm basically like 3 for 3 at this point because I got all those matches right. But then you get into the fourth match, which was AJ Lee defending the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch, and I just realized I know this video is going to be longer than 3 minutes, so it's going to be a long form video, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys watch this channel if you love it already. Like the video, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, by the way. But yeah, so you had AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and I was really freaking confident that AJ Lee was going to win. I was like, I'm pretty much going to bet all my money on this, right? If I could, of course. I know I can't because I'm 19 yet, but if I could, I definitely would. I pretty much had all my chips and marbles on Becky Lynch losing. I'm like, there's no way they're going to make her a 3-time Women's Intercontinental Champion. This is AJ Lee's first WrestleMania match in like 11 years at this point. Like, she has to win this. But instead, they pulled a curveball on me. They had Becky Lynch hit AJ Lee's face on a exposed turnbuckle in the corner and a manhandle slam to get the 1-2-3 for the win. I was very shocked and very surprised. In a way, I was a little upset just because I really was advocating for AJ Lee to win this thing, and I was a little disappointed that Becky won. I wanted more. I wasn't into Becky winning, I'm not gonna lie. The match was amazing. I actually really loved the match. It's just, I wasn't a huge fan of the result, I'm not gonna lie. Then you had the fifth match, which I was also weirdly looking forward to, and it was a decent match as well, I gotta give it that. You had Gunther versus Seth freaking Rollins. Now, I pretty much called this match straight down the middle. If you go back to my predictions, sure, if you hadn't checked that out already, where I do a green screen series, I'm going to do that for night 2 as well later if y'all see that. I pretty much called it word for word. I said Braun Breaker's going to make his return. He's going to spear Seth Rollins maybe once or twice, and then Gunther's going to get in the ring and choke him out with a sleeper hold. And I called it exactly, word for word. So I was happy with the result. Can't really say nothing else about it. I loved the match. I loved the ending. Braun Breaker speared Seth Rollins again after the match was over. He literally ran from the ramp all the way down to the ring again. Peak. Awesome. I loved it. Pure cinema. Then you have the co-main event, the 6th match of the night, 6 out of 7. Ha, funny. You had Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Valkyrie for the Women's World Championship. I was really back and forth on this match. You can even go back to my predictions on that one too. I was really unsure of who to root for here because it's like Stephanie Valkyrie hasn't really done much with the title, and Liv Morgan, I feel like she deserves this. It's WrestleMania. She won the Women's Royal Rumble earlier this year back in Saudi Arabia. And you got to give it to Liv, right? But so I really didn't know who to choose. At the end of the day, I said Liv Morgan's going to win. And I kind of figured there would be shenanigans with the Judgment Day, whether they helped her, betrayed her, or something. And I pretty much figured, I knew that was coming. You had Roxanne and Raquel both show up to screw Stephanie in there, and Liv Morgan, there was actually kind of a false finish. You had Liv Morgan hit Stephanie with an Oblivion, but Stephanie kicked out, and then they kind of redid some spots where the Judgment Day interfered again, and Liv did another Oblivion, and then she got the win. It just took like an extra little bit of step. I loved the way that match was choreographed and everything, even though it was kind of unnecessary in a way, I'll say that. But it made Stephanie look really strong at the end of the day, and you put Liv Morgan over. So all I got to say to that is bravo. They really did good on that. They wowed me. I think the crowd was loving that match as well. Props for them. Props for the ladies. And then you have the main event of the evening, which is Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for that Undisputed Championship. Should I say Randy Orton coming out with Pat McAfee, which, oh my God, again, I could go on in probably a whole other video, which I kind of already did, talking about how he should not even be involved in this story whatsoever. It did not need him. Never, ever, ever. But if we get into the match, it starts off pretty much with Pat McAfee getting taken out by Jelly Roll of all people, and I was like, yes, we can finally get what we wanted out of this, the one-on-one match. Just have them two in the ring, tell the story themselves, and that's exactly what we got. I loved every second of it. I've seen all the criticisms online about, oh, we all wanted Randy Orton to win the 15, which I did too. I did too. And Cody retaining sucks and this and that. I get it, but I also said, I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, and if I did, I apologize, but I've told other people that I'm close to, I'm like, the only way I would be somewhat okay with Cody retaining, which, obviously he did if you saw the main event, the only way I'd be cool with it is if he were to somehow pull the trigger, which he did. He low-blowed Randy Orton at one point in the match. He also raked him in the eye, so he went a little bit further than he did last year. I was telling the Discord chat earlier, like, they're basically kind of going back to the story he had with Cena last year, right? With Cody and Cena. It's like he couldn't get the job done because John Cena pulled the trigger and Cody couldn't. Cody didn't want to take it to that next level and Cena got him. This year, Cody took it to that next level and he did what he had to do to retain the title. Randy Orton was actually the guy, believe it or not, that we all thought was going to take it to that next level and make Cody do something. But then Randy Orton decides to RKO Pat McAfee again, which in a way was like kind of a distraction. And then again, that leaves Cody to capitalize on Randy Orton, hitting him with the crossroads. Like, beautiful storytelling there. The only part of the match I really hated was freaking Pat McAfee coming out as a referee and doing the slowest count ever. Like, Cody's gonna freaking kick out, you know what I mean? But I really popped when Randy RKO'd the ref at one point. He RKO'd Pat McAfee. I was like, yes, get him out of here. Like, we were all screaming to the top of the heavens for that one. Randy Orton even caught Cody with a midair RKO. That was freaking awesome. That was lovely. And then, after the match I got to talk about real quick, I think I'm probably going to wrap this up here. You had Cody retain. He had a crossroads on Randy Orton for the 1, 2, 3, and then after the bell rang, Randy Orton grabbed the title from Cody and freaking hit him with it like he was John Cena from last year. Like he was heel John Cena. And then he does the unexpected thing, which is drop the title and literally punt kick to Cody Rhodes. He hit him skull. Yeah, and I don't even have any words to say to that. It was a roller coaster because like if you go back to like those last 5 minutes of the show, basically from the Pat McAfee shenanigans to the punt kick that Randy delivered, I was left confused. I'm like, okay, are they doing the double turn with Cody and Randy where Cody turns heel, Randy's a babyface now? They got rid of Pat. And also the fact that Cody beat Randy Orton means Pat McAfee is hopefully gone for good. Good freaking riddance, am I right? I'm okay with seeing Pat McAfee as long as he's just nowhere near Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. He doesn't need to be involved in this story in particular. Like, do something else, if anything. Be a commentator for all I care. Or have a match against literally anyone else at this point. Just do something else. or go away altogether. I really don't care. But yeah, the way that they told this story, though, right? I don't think it's necessarily a double turn, because I do think Randy Orton is still the bad guy in this feud, especially after punting Cody's skull out of his head, like I said earlier. I just think that there's more story to tell here. I think we're probably going to run this match back at Backlash, and you'll probably see. You could honestly see Randy Orton win the title there. Now, do I think he's going to? Probably not. But I do think the Cody Rhodes will eventually lose the Undisputed Championship to Randy Orton at some point, whether that be probably at SummerSlam, most likely, in Minneapolis later this year. But hey, you never know. I think that's all my thoughts for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if comment your thoughts down below as well. I want to hear the community feedback as well on this. But yeah, take care, everyone. Peace.